to DwayneCotton.com and everything real estate investing. So we talked on episode 1 about the interior, just kind of a skim, literally the interior of a house, what you should and shouldn't do, and what you should watch out for. Now, outside's a little bit different, still important, but when you visually look at a house on the outside, you can really see what's wrong. In this particular example here, when we bought this house, we knew everything outside that we could see. Now, one thing you couldn't really tell is if you notice the wood rot up there in the fascia board, which is the board just below the shingles and above the windows, we see all that wood rot. Well, the awning would have matched these awnings here, but it was a bigger one against the house that covered the front door and that big picture window. It actually covered all that wood rot. You know, that's going to take us probably an hour to fix, no big deal. But in some cases, we've actually seen where the wood rot is so bad it actually starts to rot the end of the rafters, or in some houses has trusses, that is actually the roof that holds the roof up. So sometimes you can have damage within 6 to 8, 10 inches into that, and then you've got to go in and cut, splice. There again, no big deal, right? But it adds a little bit of money. And what we're trying to avoid is all the little line items that's going to add up in the end. All right, so the little things like this, no big deal for us, but just keep an eye on them, because the no big deals become a deal. Now, on the outside of the house, you'll see that it's kind of plain. And if you get a sense up and down the street, it's a really nice street, but there's not a lot of variation in colors on exteriors. So what we're going to do here, we're going to paint this house a light green, a willow green, sort of a mossy green. I am going to put a red front door on it and paint the shutters black. So this house is really going to pop. And what I really like is not only does it individually look good, but it's going to really stand out from the rest of the street. And if we actually cut the grass, we've had a lot of rain recently, so the grass is up. So the lawn guy that we have that goes around and cuts all the properties, he'll get this probably this week. But the grass on this house grows really, really quick. So the landscaping on this is going to be really easy for us. We're going to cut the grass, we're going to bag it, we're going to edge everything. And then with this house, with that color that we're going to use, I'm going to put a red mulch in. Now sometimes the color of the mulch will be determined on what color the exterior of the house is. And I'm not really worried about the neighbors. I kind of want my house to look different, but I don't want anything to clash. So a red mulch here with the red front door and a green siding is going to really, really look good. The siding here is aluminum, so we're able to save it. And there's a few things in the yard. These pavers will come up. Obviously we have to plant a little bit of grass here. The crepe myrtle that I'm standing under is going to get cut back a little bit. Now, we're getting into the time of the year to where this tree can be cut back extensively, but I don't want to do that, because the worst thing you can do is try to sell a house with a really a decapitated tree in your front yard. I mean, no leaves, no branches, just really cut back. So it's not very appealing when you're selling a house. So a tree like this will get cut back a little bit. We'll raise the canopy slightly, which is all the low branches, like little things like this. It'll be cleaned up. We'll put a mulch bed around the trunk of the tree, and guess what? Now it pops, and it doesn't look kind of straggly like this one is. Now, over here is kind of interesting. We had to change the heating and air conditioning here. There's a closet inside the house that had a furnace and a coil in it. Now, this house didn't have a lot of closet space in it, and so we knew we were going to change the heating and air. I didn't like how the duct system was run in the house. It had to be totally replaced. So what we did here was we're putting in a package unit, or in this case a gas pack. So that gas pack is going to go where you see the duct stubbed out of the house and all the bricks piled up. The gas pack is going to sit there. It's going to tie into the new duct system that we have. And then you'll see the AC that's sort of sitting back there. That's the original condenser that was in the house, the AC unit. So that'll come out and get disposed of. And actually, I think on this case here, because this unit is fairly new and runs pretty good, this will probably end up in a rental property of ours. And so sometimes you can take something from one property and use it in another, if it's sort of a rental case, if it's in good shape. Or you can just spend the extra money and buy a new one. But we could get into the technical side on another episode about heating and air conditioning and sort of tricks of the trade and how do we save money there. And I will save that for that episode. Now, one thing when we purchase the house, one thing you really want to make sure is that when you get builder's risk insurance or you get any kind of liability insurance and full coverage on a house, a lot of adjusters will require that the branches that are overhanging the house be cut back. Now, I bought this house, we had all the branches off the house, but we've owned this house for a few months and you have a few small ones starting to grow, no big deal, but you need to keep all the branches that are touching the roof, not just over it, but within a couple feet or touching the shingles. You want to get rid of those because the fear there is that as the wind blows and moves the branches across the shingles, it's going to wear the aggregate or the rock off of the shingle. It's going to cause your roof to leak. And the addition, you can tell where the addition is on this house. You can see that this is a gable end or an A-frame roof, and then you'll see the flat part back there. So you have two types of roofing here. We have shingles, asphalt shingles on the house, and then we have a rubber membrane roof on the flat area in the back. So when you're looking at a house that has any kind of flat roof, you definitely want to have a roof inspection because flat roofs can be very, very expensive and they hide a lot of leaks. So you definitely want to make sure you have your inspections there. So that's it on the front of the house. Let's go around to the back.